Think of the last time your family has eaten some form of canned tomato. Maybe it was in some delicious pasta, chips and salsa, or the classic spaghetti and meatballs. Have you ever wondered how a simple tomato turns into those delicious ingredients we find at the supermarket? Well, it's quite an interesting journey, so let's start at the beginning. At Herzl Canning Company, the maker of Dei Fratelli tomato products, our tomatoes journey starts with a tiny seed. In Northwest Ohio, Herzl hires growers to seed, grow, plant, and harvest the tomatoes. The growers choose from around 7 varieties of tomato seeds and estimate how many tomatoes they think will grow. Growers always plan to overplant and keep a reserve for unfortunate events, such as a frost. The seeds are first planted in greenhouses, spread out in the trays until they sprout. After 5 or so long weeks, the tomato plants reach a whopping 6 inches. When the sprouts have formed, they are ready for planting. The tomato plants are then transplanted to the ground with added fertilizer and water using specialized equipment. Each plant is set in 2 straight lines, side by side, to create long rows. By the end, there are multiple rows resulting in 10 to 12,000 tomato plants on 1 acre of land. The growing season usually lasts 120 days for the tomatoes to become fully mature and nice and red. Around the 2nd week of August, growers go into full harvest mode that lasts around 50 days. A grower's goal is to have an A+ product. The better the number grade, the more they get paid. Number 1 tomatoes are bright red and nicely shaped. Number 2 tomatoes are slightly soft or slightly discolored. Number 3 tomatoes are broken down and squishy. These can still be used though, unless they have serious blemishes or diseases. Machines, called harvesters, are used in the field to collect the tomatoes. Each harvester has cutting blades in the front. The blades will cut off the entire plant right at the soil line. Mechanical arms carefully collect the plants and place them onto a belt. The harvester then aggressively shakes the plants and the tomatoes fall off. After this, the fruit continues down the belt until it is presented to the color sorters. These are special cameras that separate the tomatoes. The camera sensors tell when a tomato is too green or when it has bad spots. These unwanted tomatoes are sorted and dropped out the back of the harvester onto the field. The remaining good tomatoes are then taken to Herzl for production. Once the tomatoes arrive at Herzl, the first thing the tomatoes need is a nice bath. Cleaning is a fascinating process because in the flowing water, the tomatoes move upstream. The fruit goes in one direction, while the water goes in the opposite direction, backward, away from the fruit to keep it clean. While the tomatoes are being cleaned, they are sorted by size, color, firmness, shape, and the final product they will be used for. Size sorting comes first. These sorting machines have different sized rollers to separate the big juicy tomatoes from the rest. Color sorting and shape sorting come next, and then a final sorting for the type of product each tomato will be used in. The best tomatoes are used for peeling products such as whole tomatoes, diced tomatoes, or chopped tomatoes. Anything too small or the wrong shape is used for liquid products like pizza sauce, spaghetti sauce, or tomato sauce. For whole tomatoes and diced tomatoes, the canning process begins with peeling the tomatoes, which is a Herzl specialty. Tomatoes have a natural waxy layer on the outside to protect against bugs and disease. The tomato goes through a treatment process to break down its outer cells, which will loosen the waxy layer from the rest of the tomato. The tomatoes are then sent to a peeling machine. The peeled tomatoes are sent through another color sorter and then inspected one more time on the line before being canned. During canning, any air in a container can cause harmful bacteria. To prevent bacteria growth, each container is placed under a machine that creates a vacuum. Air is pulled out of the can and filled with the tomato juices. Just before each lid is put on the can, steam is blown across the top of the can to remove any remaining air. The room temperature cans filled with the delicious tomato products are now sent to be sterilized in a rotary cooker. The cans will remain here until their temperature reaches 190 degrees to kill off any bacteria. They are then cooled in a rotary cooler that has cold water spraying on the outside of the cans. For liquid products, the tomatoes first are crushed. Then they are sent through a machine with different sized screens, depending upon the textures of the final product. After the screening process, everything comes out as a juice. The tomato juice is heated and pasteurized just enough to be sterilized, and then sent on different journeys to create different products. Liquid products are filled hot, 190 degrees Fahrenheit, sealed, and then cooled, just like the whole and diced tomato products. Cans are bright stacked using a large machine with strong magnets. Bright stacking means stacking without a label because products are not labeled until Herzl knows who will buy them. Dei Fratelli tomato products are Herzl's signature brand and are packed fresh during tomato harvest in the facilities. Herzl sends its products to 3 business segments. Retail is the Dei Fratelli brand you would buy at a grocery store. Food service is places like restaurants, schools, and healthcare facilities that would buy larger amounts in larger packaging. Industrial users are places like factories, where the tomatoes will go to be made into other foods like salsa, pasta sauce, and/or put on frozen pizzas. The amount of tomatoes Herzl can produce a day is amazing. About 600 tons a day of tomatoes are processed at the Northwood factory. Herzl's Ottawa facility will process almost 1,000 tons a day, and the Pemberville factory processes about 650 tons of tomatoes daily. That's a total of around 2,200 tons a day. During a good tomato harvest, Herzl will process over 4,400 semi-truck trailers of fresh tomatoes. And that's how a humble little tomato seed makes it all the way to your favorite grocery store. Who knew there were so many steps? And I don't know about you, but I could go for some spaghetti right about now.